Welcome to the most absurd Wild West photos that were lost in time, and most people never got to know the gruesome history behind them. 1. This is a band of Indian Apache prisoners at a rest stop beside the Southern Pacific Railway near the Nueces River in Texas, back in 1886. 2. For some, the settlers were heroes, but for the natives, they were destroying their culture. This is a new settler looking at the site of a new town for a lot in Guthrie, Oklahoma, in 1889. 3. This photo has a horrifying history behind it. The 11-year-old Jimmy McKinn was abducted in early September 1885. When the Indians who kidnapped him were captured in March 1886, Jimmy refused his return to the family, wanting to stay amongst the Apache tribe. In this photo, he is standing with the Indians before they surrendered to General Crook. 4. The famous outlaw John Sontag was shot to death on September 14, 1904. He was not dead yet when this photo was taken, but was basically about to leave this earth. 5. In this photo, you can see Apaches delivering hay to the American settlers in Arizona back in 1893. 6. These Cheyenne Indians were trying to return to the Black Hills from a reservation in Oklahoma. Then, they were captured and held in the county jail in Dodge City in 1878. 7. While this looks like your average woman from back in the days, this is actually the mugshot of Mary Shannon, who was sentenced to 2 years in 1925 after causing mayhem. 8. This is an interesting one. This outlaw is Butch Cassidy, who was captured for horse theft. However, his real theft came after this mugshot was taken. He formed a wild bunch, recruiting other people, and went on to rob banks and trains across the Old West. 9. This photo was taken nearly 150 years ago in the Wild West by a photographer called O'Sullivan. He found out a Spanish inscription from 1726, which says, "By this place passed Ensign Don Joseph de Peba Vasconcelos, in the year in which he held the council of the kingdom at his expense, on the 18th of February, in the year 1726. 10. Looking at this image, we can see lots of pain and anxiety as these settlers are escaping the Dakota War of 1862. 11. Even back in the Wild West, we had a graceful lawyer. This is a rare, quiet moment for the lawman. You can see his feet up, hat on, waiting for the next big trouble to find him. 12. This is Hunter Reeves, who captured murderers and horse thieves. After the outlaw Bob Dozier pushed him to a gunfight, Reeves won with flying colors and also logged in thousands of arrests because he was precise, read habits, and could shoot straight even when cornered. 13. Back in the Wild West, mail delivery was quite important, and it was done on horses. This is the Pony Express, a service that delivers mail between Missouri and California in 10 days or less. 14. While this Apache kid had served as an Army scout, he became one of the most wanted renegade outlaws in Arizona Territory between the 1880s and 90s. 15. Just look at these Navajo Yebichai dancers. This photo was taken in 1900, showing odd-looking people, with the right one being muscular and strong. 16. Moving forward, we have Red Hawk, an Oglala warrior in Badlands, South Dakota. 17. On the very left, we have Sam Bass, a notorious train robber. On his 27th birthday, he was killed by the Texas Rangers. 18. These are the bruised bodies of outlaw Clell Miller on the left and Bill Chadwell on the right from 1876, Northfield, Minnesota. 19. Hunters were quite common back in the days, but here we're looking at Stephen H. Meat, a pioneer hunter and fur trapper with his dog in 1880. 20. Look at this pirate hunter aiming a rifle in southwestern Utah. His stance is precise and focused. 21. Right now, you are looking at the first house on the present site of Dodge City, Kansas. This was built sometime in August 1872. 22. This is a wholesome image because the world's most famous dancer, Italian prima ballerina Giuseppina, married American cowboy Texas Jack Omohundro. They even co-starred with Buffalo Bill Cody in the first stage western. 23. On the day after Christmas in 1862, the largest mass execution in U.S. history happened in Mankato, Minnesota. According to reports, 38 Dakota men were hanged on massive public gallows. 24. After attempting a bank robbery, both Bob and Grat Dalton were killed, and their bodies were held up by the law enforcement officers. 25. As you can see, dogs were an important part of the Uinta Ute culture. This photo was captured in the 1870s. 26. A gruesome photo from 1915 on the King Ranch, where Texas Rangers have their lassos pulled around the bodies of Jesus Garcia, Mauricio Garcia, and Amando Munoz. 27. This picture is of Geronimo, the military leader and a medicine man from the Apache people. This is the first cabinet card taken at the San Carlos Reservation in Arizona and his earliest photo. 28. Here's a rare photo of 3 men at work in Rockerville, washing and panning gold back in 1889. 29. A beautiful photo of the explorer Frederick S. Dellenbaugh, who is sitting and reflected in the Green River in the Lodore Canyon, Colorado. This photo was taken back in 1871. 30. For many, this person was a resistance fighter, but for his people, Chief Joseph was a Nez Perce leader who resisted the forced removal of his people from their ancestral land and was a hero. 31. Look at thousands of bison skulls awaiting industrial processing back in 1892. It would truly make you trypophobic. 32. Jesse James is the most iconic cowboy from back in the day. This is a photo of him in his coffin in 1882 in the Library of Congress. 33. If you thought it wouldn't get more badass than this, then look at some drunk and armed men. These people fought on both sides of the Lincoln County War of 1878. 34. This picture is of the chief bone necklace of the Oglala Lakota. The photo is from 1899, but it is hand-colored. 35. During the Mexican War in 1846, Captain Samuel H. Walker from the U.S. Army traveled east, looked up Sam Colt, and collaborated on the design of the most powerful revolver. 36. The infamous Cherokee Bill, posing with his captors during a stop-by train to Nowata in 1895. 37. After getting involved in a fight with Ned Christie, a Cherokee statesman, these deputy marshals posed for photographs after their battle. The image was taken on November 1, 1892. 38. While this photo looks regular, it was taken back in 1860, when Cynthia Ann Parker was rescued during the Battle of Pease River. In this battle, nearly 40 Comanches, including 16 unarmed women and 2 children, were killed by the Texas Rangers. She never adjusted to life after her return to her family. 39. This is Death Valley in the 1870s. 20 mule team wagons are hauling borax across the Great Basin Desert to the nearest railroad. 40. Censor the hanging to avoid any monetization issues. This is quite an interesting one. Sheriff Henry Plummer was hanged on the gallows that he built. He was caught by the vigilante group in Bannock in 1864, who took proper revenge. 41. Look at these 2 Apsaluki on horseback outside of a teepee. The forest is covered in snow. 42. This was how your average cowboy lunch break looked on the 3 Seas Ranch. 43. Larry Dedge was a lawnman, known for his big size. Standing at 6 feet 4 and weighing around 275 pounds, almost everyone was afraid of him. 44. These are the 2 common methods of hauling water in Old Mexico and the southwestern United States. 45. This is the face of outlaw Tun Ketchum, who was about to be hanged in Clayton, but the rope they used was too long, which ended up decapitating him. 46. In this photo, Bill Tilghman, who was a buffalo hunter, was approached by Bat Masterson to serve as a deputy sheriff. This job earned Bill lots of respect. 47. This is one of the rarest photos of the outlaw Jesse James when he was just 17 years old. 48. Another rare photo, but this time it's Theodore Roosevelt and John Muir on Glacier Point, Yosemite Valley, California. The photo was taken in 1903. 49. This is a photo of some settlers in Oklahoma. It was taken in the 1800s. 50. The legend William F. Buffalo Bill Cody demonstrated buffalo hunting for the audience at his Wild West show in 1905. 52. Look at these two men climbing Pikes Peak in winter in Colorado. This is the routing of Windy Point in 1890. 53. In this photo, you're looking at Porter Rockwell, who was Bridgen Young's bodyguard. This guy was the most brutal person who was often said to have changeless tenacity. 54. This is black-faced Charlie Bryant. After his capture, he fatally shot Deputy U.S. Marshal Edge Cho, who, in turn, mortally wounded Charlie. 55. Look at this man, Edward Cape Heart O'Kelly, the man who killed Jesse James. The photograph was taken in 1890. 56. One of the first steam tractors hauling borax in the Calico Hills of Southern California. 57. History is often painful. This is Olive Oatman, a white American woman who was first enslaved by the Native Americans but then returned. 58. This image was taken in 1867, where we can see miners working at the Gould and Curry mines on the Comstock lode, Nevada. 59. The legendary Marshal Ben Thompson of Austin, Texas. He admitted to killing 32 people and then met his own end in an ambush by hired assassins. 60. In this photo, we have Deputy William Banks on the left and Deputy U.S. Marshal Isaac S. Prater on the right. Between them is the body of Tulsa Jack Black. 61. This is the body of the most famous outlaw, Jesse James of the Wild West, taken in 1882. 62. This is Pearl Hart in Yuma Territorial Prison in 1899. She committed one of the last recorded stagecoach robberies in the United States, but gained a lot of fame due to her gender. 63. The Wild West wasn't all wars and crimes. Look at a stagecoach at a school picnic in Colorado Springs. 64. This is the opening of the Cherokee Outlet in 1893. This was Oklahoma's fourth and largest land run. 65. This is the photo of Calamity Jane. Wondering why the name is Calamity? That's because she was one of the most skilled sharpshooters of her time. 66. This is an armed escort in the Sierra Nevada mountains in 1900. The terrains are tough and dangerous, as you can see in the photograph. 67. This photograph is of the Mountain Meadows Massacre that happened in Utah in 1857. Here, the Mormon settlers were fueled by paranoia and aided by Paiute Indians. They massacred a wagon train of Arkansas immigrants that were heading to California. 68. This is a blacksmith shop at the Silver King Mine in Arizona. The photograph was taken in 1876. 69. This is Gregorio Cortez, who was a Mexican-American cowboy. He killed a Texas sheriff in self-defense and evaded the Rangers for 13 days, sparking the largest manhunt in the history of the time. 70. This is an early reward posted the day after the famous train robbery. The one who captures the bad guys would be rewarded $5,000. 71. This is the aftermath of the Dalton Gang's failure to raid. All of the outlaws are lying side by side dead. 72. Here's a photograph of a family with their covered wagon. Back in the 1880s, there was the Great Western Migration. This specific photo was taken in Loup Valley, Nebraska. 73. This image shows us the gruesome end of Cole Estes, also known as Cole the Young, on October 2, 1896. He was a train robber. 74. These are the Horrell brothers, who left a string of killings of lawmen and Hispanics from Texas all the way to New Mexico. 75. Look at the early Texas Rangers. These are the most storied lawmen of the West, and the photos were taken before 1870. 76. This is the execution of Silan Lewis, who is being suffocated to death with a handkerchief after a missed shot. 77. Even back in the 19th century, poker was common. This photograph was taken in 1882 at Egan's Saloon, Burns, Oregon. 78. Who you're looking at is Quanah Parker, the last chief of the Comanches. This photograph was taken in 1890. 79. This photograph is from the Parker counting, where a threshing machine accidentally collapses a bridge. 80. Here, we have Dick West, who died at the hands of the 3 guardsmen. He was the last of the Dalton Gang to go. And that was the last entry on our list of 80 absurd photos of the Wild West that you've never seen. Subscribe to our channel and ring the bell icon if you're looking for more mysterious and secret topics like these.